At 18, I injured my left leg saving Robert Lu, leaving me permanently disabled. Grateful for my debt for saving his life, he got engaged to me despite everyone's objections, promising to take care of me for life. But for the next 10 years until I was 28, we remained just engaged. When I finally gathered the courage to make a proposal, I accidentally overheard him talking to his friend. "Rob, I heard Sarah Chun is planning to propose to you. She must be desperate to get married. She really is a fool. You've dragged it out for 10 years and still won't get married. Anyone with eyes can see you don't love her. Yet she has no clue." Then I heard Robert Lu's cold voice. "What? You pity her?" "No, it's just that she got hurt saving you. Jessica Chun is coming here tonight. Haven't you thought about what happens if she finds out? Jessica and I got married legally abroad. Besides, she's her Jessica. It's perfectly normal for me to see her. If she hadn't trapped me with that debt for saving his life back then, why would I have gotten engaged to her? Jessica Chun is the only one I've ever loved. Just giving her the status here is already more than enough. So, the love I desperately chased was nothing but moral obligation in Robert Lu's eyes. Looking at the disability I was left with because I saved him, tears flowed uncontrollably. "Since you feel my love is a trap, it'll release you myself." I turned and dialed a number. "Are you still waiting for me?" What Robert Lu didn't know was that while I was waiting for him for 10 years, someone else was waiting for me. I hung up the phone. Only after my emotions had discover more bathtubooks transcript editing tools blog post templates video YouTube transcript API video transcription service of videos translation API access language translation guide completely settled. I wipe away my tears and go inside. As soon as I entered, a contemptuous voice spoke up. "Sarah Chun, dressed like that. You're not trying to pressure Rob into getting married, are you?" "Miss Sarah, I'm not going to lie. Rob is already engaged to you. It's not like he's going to run off for a woman to propose. What would people think of Rob?" With that, he walked towards me disdainfully and pulled off my veil, throwing it on the ground. Ignoring his mockery, I turned to pick it up as I bent down. The corner of the veil was firmly stepped on by his leather shoe. My carefully maintained balance was suddenly broken. My left foot stumbled, and I fell down hard, instantly dizzy. You can't even pick something up without falling down. What good are you? You've completely disgraced Rob. Chad, enough. Only Robert Lu's sharp reprimand stopped Chad's taunts. He carefully picked me up completely, disregarding the wine stains on my clothes. "I'm sorry, Sarah. Chad didn't mean it. It's just that after the last reception, people talked about us too much. And he took it out on you, but a proposal is a man's job. How could I let a girl like you go first?" Saying that, he pulled out some decorative flowers from the table and knelt on one knee before me. "Miss Sarah Chun, will you marry me?" I never expected the proposal I had waited 10 years for to happen like this. I had imagined countless times what I would look like when he finally said those words. But now looking at his expectant eyes, I only felt a chill run through me. He clearly didn't love me, yet he looked more deeply in love than anyone. I stifled the revulsion inside and forced a look of guilt. "Robert, I was too impatient. You must have your own plans. Also, Chad is right. I'm sorry for causing you to suffer such gossip. Maybe we should cancel the wedding plans. That way, you won't have to." My words were cut off by Robert Lu. "I won't allow you to talk about yourself like that. You are the woman Robert Lu is determined to marry. I said I would take care of you for life, and I will never break my promise." Robert Lu's face held a seriousness I had never seen before. In the past, I would have been moved to tears, feeling even more guilty towards him. But now I only marveled at his excellent acting skills. I took a deep breath and slowly said, "I know. I'll wait for you." As soon as I finished speaking, I made an excuse about having something to do and left as usual. Robert Lu didn't try to stop me. This was because none of his friends liked me. They couldn't understand how their friend could be with a completely forgetting that my lameness was because I saved Robert Lu. But before I had gone far, I heard laughter from inside. "Rob, did you see her walking? Limping like a penguin. It's hilarious. Luckily, you like Jessica Chun." Otherwise, I couldn't bring myself to call someone like that Sarah. You don't have to call her Sarah. But you need to be careful. Don't let her catch on. She is Jessica's nominal Sarah. And I don't want her causing trouble for Jessica. And yes, I do feel bad for her for wasting 10 years of her life. But I don't regret it. There's no right or wrong in love. I dug my fingernails into my palms. The pain from my skin insignificant compared to the ache in my heart. Only the sound of a text message broke through my thoughts. I'm back here. Meet me at City Hall. Looking at the fresh marriage certificate in my hand, I felt no happiness. Just one day before, I still believed in my love for Robert Liu. But in less than 24 hours, my world had been turned upside down while I was lost in thought. David Hua snatched the marriage certificate from my hand. I'll keep this for now. The old man wants to see it. All your abroad arrangements will be sorted in 3 days. Wait for me. By the time I reacted, I only saw David Hua's retreating figure. David Hua was my childhood friend before I returned to the Chin estate when the Chin estate found me. The Hua family had also just found him. He was just luckier than me while I was missing. The Chun estate had adopted daughter, another girl, to replace me. But the Hua family had been searching for him the entire time. On the day he left, worried I would be bullied, he promised to wait for me for 10 years. I thought I would never need that 10-year promise. But who knew it would come to this? Not long after David Hua left, I returned alone to Robert's house, watching the things Robert Liu gave me disappear in the flames. My eyes stung with unshed tears. If I hadn't heard it with my own ears, I would never have discovered he had been acting for 10 long years. While he was out, I went to the study and opened his treasured computer. I used Jessica Chen's birthday to unlock the computer and frantically looked through everything on it. Finally, I found the answer in an encrypted document. The moment I opened it, thousands of Jessica Chen's photos filled the screen. Each one was dated and noted with the mood when it was taken, showing how deeply he was in love. I morbidly scrolled through every photo of Jessica Chen. With each one, my love for Robert Liu diminished a little until it was all gone. So for 10 years, every time Robert Liu went abroad supposedly to find doctors for my leg, it was just a lie so he could watch Jessica Chen's performances. Besides the photos, there was also an audio file at the end, my hands trembling. I clicked it open, and the calm I had just found shattered. Mr. Liu, everything is arranged. Once Jessica Chen appears and gets the title of debt for saving his life, even if Sarah Chen is the true heir of the Chen estate, you can still request to change the marriage alliance candidate to Jessica Chen. How could you mess this up? Why was it Sarah Chen who saved me? Do you know I can never get rid of this trouble now? No wonder when I went to save Robert Liu, he looked so shocked and repeatedly told me not to be reckless. Turns out it wasn't an accident at all, but something he deliberately orchestrated. He was willing to risk his own life just to be with Jessica Chen. Even though I already knew he didn't love me, my heart still tore with pain in the 10 years my left leg was disabled. No matter how many strange looks I received, I never regretted saving him because he was the first person to care for me and protect me after I returned to the Chinate. I saw him as my life salvation, but I never expected all my misfortunes were caused by him. Well, it makes sense. Engaged for 10 years. He never once said he loved me, but none of it matters now. He got married legally and I got married legally. All that's left is to wait for David Hua to return. Then the tangled mess between us will finally end. That night, Robert Liu didn't come home. His secretary told me he had found another reliable doctor and had left overnight. His call came as expected around midnight. Sarah, I've arrived. This doctor is very skilled. I believe he can definitely cure your leg. Also, I'm not here if you feel lonely. Go back to the Chen estate. Don't try to be strong. Suddenly, fireworks outside the window drowned out the rest of his words. Through the video call, I clearly saw Robert Liu and Jessica Chen's initials displayed in the sky. I stared fixedly behind him, suppressing my body's trembling. Robert Liu, you're lying to me again. Unable to sleep all night, I was woken up by the sound of commotion downstairs early the next morning. I went downstairs to check and was stunned by the scene in the kitchen. Robert Liu had returned, but he wasn't alone. Jessica Chen was wrapping her arms around his waist, looking at him affectionately as he cooked soup. They were laughing and talking and in their playful banter. She even reached her hand under his shirt. They looked every bit like a couple in love with me. He was always reserved, distant. Even though we had lived together for 5 years, we still slept in separate bedrooms. My gaze shifted and Robert Liu finally saw me outside the kitchen. The spoon in his hand instantly slipped, and his eyes were full of panic. He quickly pushed Jessica Chen away, rubbing his hands on himself subconsciously, a little habit he had when he was lying. Sarah, why didn't you go back to the Chen estate? Don't misunderstand. Jessica didn't bring her keys when she came back here this morning. I ran into her at the airport and just brought her back. She was just teaching me how to make soup. I almost put sugar instead of salt. Luckily, she stopped me. Since you're here, let's have breakfast together. Hearing this, I couldn't help but sneer internally. No wonder he wanted me to go back to the Chen estate last night. He didn't want me to disturb their time alone. And really, who teaches someone how to make soup by putting their hand under their shirt? But since I had already decided to leave, I had no intention of exposing his clumsy lies. I just slowly said as her Robert, it's only right for you to help your Jessica. Yes, Robert. Thank you for bringing me back, or I would have been starving outside the Chinate. Jessica Chen's voice was soft and sweet, completely like a little Jessica. But when she said you, her eyes met Robert Lse, and an unspoken intimacy flowed between them. The two of them seemed to completely forget I was still here. I dug my fingernails into my palms, trying to control the urge to question them. Suddenly, Jessica Chen took a box from her suitcase and handed it to me. Sarah, this is a gift I carefully chose before I came back here. Take a look. Do you like it? If your leg hadn't been unable to recover back then, I wouldn't have gotten that chance to dance abroad for so many years. I've always felt I owe you. I smiled coldly. Is that the only thing, E4? In the years I was missing, you enjoyed everything from the Chen estate. My fiancé, who I saw as my salvation, even set me up to become disabled for you. Now I've become your official mistress. Seeing I hesitated to take it, Robert Liu grabbed the box and stuffed it into my hand. Take it quickly. Jessica told me that you, her Sarah, were who she missed the most when she was abroad. Yes, Sarah. I chose it for a long time. Open it and see. Under the urging, I slowly opened the box. Inside was a pair of bright red high heels. Looking at the shoes in the box, my heart turned cold. I turned to go upstairs. Sarah Chun, stop. Jessica kindly gave you a gift. And this is how you act as a Sarah. Not even a thank you. I slowly turned back, my voice full of sarcasm. How should I thank her? Thank her for giving a high heels, making me even more crippled. And whose Sarah am I to her? She has no Chin blood in her veins. You. Robert Liu was speechless, unable to retort, and a hint of pity appeared on his face. Jessica, did you get the wrong gift? You're Sarah. She, hearing Robert Liu's question. Jessica Chen immediately cried. Sarah, you misunderstood me. I didn't mean it like that. I just truly thought they suited you. I know you've always disliked me, thinking I stole my dad and mom's love. I shouldn't have come back. I'm sorry. I'll leave now. Saying that, she wiped away her tears and grabbed her suitcase, heading for the door. Seeing this, the pity on Robert Liu's face instantly turned to anger. He grabbed the shoe from my hand and threw it at me with force. The heel grazed my cheek, and with a burning pain, I fell down hard, unable to get up for a moment. Robert Liu looked down at me, struggling, his words even crueler, falling down again. You're even more fragile than anyone. Jessica Chen walked up to me falsely, pretending to help me up. Sarah, are you okay? The shoes weren't that heavy. How could you just? I forced myself up, avoiding her touch. Save your fake concern, seeing I still wouldn't accept Jessica Chen's sympathy. Robert Liu's eyes turned even colder, put the shoes on, and apologized to Jessica. No, I refused without hesitation. I wasn't asking. That's an order. Sarah Chun, do you still want me to get married to you? I bit my lip, staring hard into his eyes. Then don't get married to me. Hearing this, Robert Liu pushed me down again, picked up the shoes beside him, and forcefully made me put them on. I struggled hard, but it was useless. I could only shout helplessly, "Robert Liu, let go of me," watching those two shoes, symbolizing humiliation. Being forced onto my feet, I suddenly gave up, struggling. I stood up unsteadily and walked around the living room, limping. See, don't I look especially beautiful wearing these? As soon as I finished speaking, I couldn't hold on any longer and fainted. When I woke up again, I was back in the bedroom. Robert Lowe and Jessica Chun were long gone. It wasn't until the afternoon of the next day that I received a message from him. I took Jessica back to the Chen estate. Everyone is having a reception for her return tonight. Remember to be there on time. I didn't want to go, but the constant ringing of my phone finally made me leave. As soon as I entered, my dad and mom looked at me with displeasure, seeing I was empty-handed. Jessica gave you a gift as soon as she got back yesterday as her Sarah. Don't you know to give something back? You really have no manners. Other guests nearby also turned to look at me. Isn't that Miss Sarah of the Chen estate? She really thinks blood ties are everything. If it weren't for the marriage alliance with the Liu family, who would look twice at a like her. She's been back at the Chen estate for 10 years, and she still can't shake off that commoner air. It's a good thing the Chen estate adopted Jessica Chen back then. She can hold her own now. Otherwise, relying on it would just make people laugh. As soon as they finished speaking, Jessica Chen appeared wearing an expensive designer gown. She affectionately linked arms with my dad and mom, feigning anger, and scolded the crowd. The Chen estate doesn't welcome people who disrespect the hosts. Besides, if it weren't for her, I wouldn't have had the chance to come to the Chen estate. Her leg injury is already difficult for her. I won't allow you to talk about her like that. But Sarah, why aren't you wearing the shoes I gave you yesterday? If you think they were too cheap, you can tell me. I still have some prize money for my competitions. Please don't ask me to leave. I will definitely leave after I repay my dad and mom's kindness. Jessica Chen was always like this. Every time she seemed to be defending me, but in the end, she only made me more humiliated. This time was no different. Jessica Chen's words brought the quieted whispers back to me. Their gazes were full of contempt and disdain. Sarah, you're here. Come on in. The reception is about to start. Robert Liu stood assertively in front of me, holding my hand tightly. It seemed like protection, but it only cemented Jessica Chen's slander against me. In the hall, I sat alone in a corner. I watched everyone surround Jessica Chen, praising her as grateful and repaying kindness, an international dance master at such a young age. My dad and mom and Robert Liu's smiles never stopped. Looking proud, this scene stung my eyes. They had never smiled at me like that, not even before my leg was injured. I practiced day and night and finally won the championship only to be criticized for being too vain and lacking the demeanor of a Miss Sarah. Now, with someone else, everything was reversed. It was truly laughable. David Hu's phone call pulled me out of the oppressive atmosphere. I got up and went to a corner to answer the phone. Before I could speak, Jessica Chen's mocking voice came from behind me. Sarah, you must be very sad, aren't you? Even though you're the true heir of the Chen estate, you're living worse than me, the adopted daughter. Speaking of which, I should thank you, shouldn't I? If you hadn't gotten lost back then, I wouldn't have had the chance to enter the Chen estate, and I wouldn't have met Robert Liu. I looked at her expressionlessly and spoke mockingly since, you stole my life to get what you have now. Is this how you treat your benefactor? Hearing this, she stopped pretending benefactor. Huh? If you really wanted to be my benefactor, you shouldn't have come back. For 18 years, I was the one and only Miss Sarah of the Chen estate. You stole what belonged to me, but it doesn't matter now. I told you long ago you couldn't beat me. Seeing my dad and mom and your fiancé completely ignore you. You can't take it, can you? Oh, right. And your leg. Do you really think with the resources of the Chen and Liu families, your injury couldn't be healed? I just cried a few tears back then, and Robert Liu was so heartbroken he switched all your medication. I still laugh when I think about how miserable you looked when you found out you were crippled. I stared fixedly at my disabled left leg. The ridicule and injustice I had suffered over the years flooding my mind. I couldn't hold back anymore and slapped Jessica Chen hard across the face. In an instant, her face swelled and turned red. But instead of fighting back, she curled her lips into a smile. Before I could react, she fell backward with my force, landing right in Robert Liu's arms. Sarah Chen, are you crazy? Jessica was worried you'd be bored alone and specially came out to keep you company, and this is how you treat her. Jessica Chen clutched her face and lay weakly in Robert Liu's arms, sobbing softly. Robert, I'm sorry. I just saw she was having trouble and wanted to help her. I didn't expect she would lash out at me like that because she couldn't handle it. Don't argue with Sarah. After all, the Chen estate raised me. She's also my benefactor. It's just a slap. Let it go. Seeing her pretend again, my inner anger flared even more. Let it go. Why should I let it go? Robert Liu, how exactly did my leg become disabled? Shouldn't you give me an explanation? A flicker of panic crossed Robert Liu's eyes, but he quickly regained his composure. Explanation. Haven't I done enough in the past 10 years? So many people advised me not to get engaged to you, but I stuck with it. How long are you going to make a scene? Is giving you my life enough? Sarah Chen, I truly regret letting you save me back then. Saying that, Robert Liu grabbed a knife from a server's tray nearby and moved to slash his wrist. But the crowd that had rushed over stopped him. Is she crazy pushing Mr. Liu this far? What else does she want? Abusing his debt for saving his life and acting recklessly the way she is. If Mr. Liu hadn't been so generous, who would want her? Ignoring their mockery, I spoke to Robert Liu word for word. Robert Liu, you don't have to regret it. I'm not getting married to you anymore. More sneers came. Robert Liu broke free from the crowd and walked up to me, his face full of disdain. Sarah Chen, as you wish. Our engagement is cancelled. But before that, you must apologize to Jessica. Saying that, he reached out to grab me. I quickly stepped back just as he was about to grab me. A figure assertively appeared between Robert Liu and me. Sorry, Sadie. I'm late, Sadie. Robert Liu's eyes immediately turned bloodshot, his shocked gaze shifting between David Hua and me. He asked again, incredulously. You got married legally to him? My expression was calm. I slowly nodded. Yes. His face instantly turned pale, and he stumbled back a step. Sarah Chen, you're my fiancé. How could you get married to someone else? I won't allow it. I won't allow it. He yelled frantically, about to step forward and question me, but was blocked by David Hugh again. Jessica Chen, seeing things were going wrong, quickly pulled Robert Liu back. Robert, please don't be like this. Sarah must be lying to you. She likes you so much. How could she get married to someone else? Hearing Jessica Chen's words, Robert Liu gradually calmed down. He straightened his disheveled suit, stared into my eyes, and said in a low voice, Sarah Chen, explain yourself or don't expect me to forgive you. Looking at his expression, I felt speechless inside and said sarcastically, Then don't forgive me. Robert Liu was stunned by my words. Suddenly, Jessica Chen fell to her knees before me, her face full of sadness. Sarah, it's all my fault. Please don't argue with Robert. I know you've always suspected the relationship between Robert and me, but there's really nothing between us. You don't need to hire someone to put on a show because of such baseless suspicion. They were the ones who had played me. And now it was my fault for deliberately putting on a show to embarrass them. I didn't want to argue with them. I just wanted to leave with David Hua. But Jessica Chen wouldn't let me go. She blocked our path. Her voice even more wrong. Sarah, don't go. I'm the one who should leave. I'll go abroad now and never come back. Just hoping you and Robert can be happy. But after only a few steps, she stopped, looking like she was about to fall down. Robert Liu quickly picked up Jessica Chen and looked at me coldly. Sarah Chen, what exactly are you doing? Everyone present, swayed by their performance, looked furious, as if they wanted to kick me, like I was some heinous sinner. My eyes stung uncontrollably. I used all my strength to prevent the tears from falling. David Hu noticed my unease. He held my hand tightly and comforted me softly. Don't be afraid. I'm here. David Hu was a bit of a wild child in our neighborhood when we were kids, but he became more restrained after returning to the Hu family and becoming the head. Now, seeing me like this, he finally couldn't hold back. He strode forward and punched Robert Lo hard in the face. Robert Lo, holding Jessica Chen, couldn't dodge in time, and they both fell down heavily. Jessica Chen cried out and scrambled up, holding Robert Lu's face. Heartbroken Sarah. Robert just wanted an explanation. How could you let someone hit him? Robert Lo pushed away Jessica Chen's touch, about to get up and retaliate, but David Hu kicked him down again. When you got engaged to her back then, I told you not to let me see you bully her, or I would never let you off the hook. Is this your promise to me? Robert Lo froze for a moment. He examined David Hu closely and finally recognized him. It's you. David Hu didn't reply. Instead, he threw a marriage certificate at his face. Look closely. Sarah Chen has already got married legally to me. We are legally married now. From now on, I will protect everything about her. Robert Lu trembled as he opened the marriage certificate and questioned me sharply. Sarah Chen, how could you be so cruel? You're throwing away 10 years of our feelings just like that. He seemed to be in extreme pain. He, who was always so high and mighty, cried openly in front of everyone. But instead of feeling satisfied, I felt nothing but exasperation. He was the one who had woven a 10-year life for me, and now he was acting like I was the one in the wrong. I sneered and took out my phone, sending the secrets from his computer to everyone present. Robert Lu, you are truly hypocritical. Who is the cruel one? Me or you? Let everyone judge for me now. After all, I'm just learning from you. You and Jessica Chen got married legally before David Hu, and I did. As soon as I said that, the scene became chaotic. Some busybodies quickly checked their phones. I can't believe this. No wonder he defended Jessica Chen so much when Sarah Chen was clearly his fiancé. So, they were having an affair all along. Mr. Lu is really something. Enjoying himself both here and abroad. Getting married legally in both places. You'd never guess. Seeing the situation turn, Robert Lu snatched a phone from someone nearby. He opened it, and the phone instantly slipped from his hand. He mumbled incredulously. How did you see these? I thought they were password protected. Hearing this, the people present understood everything. The contempt and disdain they had for me returned to them instead. Taking advantage of the distraction, I pulled David Hu and turned to leave. On the way, seeing David Hu's livid face, I tentatively spoke. Didn't you say you'd sort out the paperwork in 3 days? Why did you come so soon? Also, when Robert Lu and I got engaged, you came, but you didn't even see me. No matter how I tried to change the subject, David Hu remained silent, helpless. I could only use the tone I used to bully him when we were kids and yelled, Davy, if you don't speak, I'm going to get angry, sad. Why are you yelling? If I didn't come, look how much you'd be bullied. You fool. You actually endured it for 10 years without telling me. It turned out that in the 10 years we were apart, he had always been keeping an eye on me. Only I was foolish enough to keep waiting for the 10-year promise. Furthermore, when he called me, he was already back here, hearing Jessica Chen constantly mocking me on the phone. He was so angry, he didn't even grab his suitcase and ran countless red lights to get to the Chen estate as fast as possible. Listening to him ramble on like before, my heart felt unusually calm. At least there was someone in this world who genuinely cared about me. Meanwhile, back at the Chen estate after the guests left, Mr. and Mrs. Lu also arrived. Robert Lu sat on the sofa with a gloomy face, staring blankly in the direction I had left. Jessica Chen unconsciously pinched her fingers, her face full of awkwardness. Mr. and Mrs. Lu's phones kept ringing. Someone had posted the photos that were only circulating among the guests online. It caused a heated discussion instantly. After all, before this, Robert Lu had always been portrayed as a man of grateful and repaying kindness, a model citizen in the public eye. The phone ringing again ignited Mr. Lu's anger. He shouted no comment and angrily threw his phone on the ground. Seeing this, Mrs. Liu forced a strained smile. Don't be angry. How about we release a statement saying that Robert's true love is Jessica and he was forced to get engaged to Sarah Chen due to her debt for saving his life, that it was all Sarah Chen's one-sided wish. My dad smashed the cup in front of him. No way. Sarah is my biological daughter. If you say that, how will she ever face anyone again? Mr. Liu slumped onto the sofa in frustration. Then what do you suggest? They've both got married legally to someone else now. Can they just swap back? Look at the public opinion online if we don't fix this. The stock price of both our families will tank when the stock market opens tomorrow. You can't dump all the blame on my daughter. I see it clearly now. Your Liu family has black hearts. Robert Liu has ruined both my daughters at this point. Jessica Chen suddenly grabbed my dad's hand and frantically slapped herself in the face. Stop arguing. My dad, it's all my fault. Hit me. I have failed your kindness in raising me. I'll go beg Sarah. Ask her to come back. Seeing her apparent regret, my dad sighed, unable to bear it. Forget it. What's done is done. You two should go ahead and have your wedding. I won't. Robert Liu's refusal made everyone look at him, but he was completely unafraid and said coldly, I won't hold a wedding with her. My bride can only be Sarah. When I got married legally abroad, I made it clear to Jessica that our relationship was only abroad. And here, I would only get married to Sarah. Tears instantly streamed down Jessica Chen's face. She trembled, but couldn't say a word. My dad was shaking with anger. Say that again. Who are you going to get married to? Robert Liu fell to his knees with a thud, insisting, Sarah Chen. I want to get married to Sarah Chen. Hearing this, Mr. Liu grabbed the cane beside him and struck Robert Liu's back repeatedly. You wretched son. I'll beat this scoundrel to death. You've ruined the relationship between our two families. In moments, blood seeped from Robert Liu's back. Jessica Chen quickly shielded him with her body. Robert, didn't you say I was the only one you loved? Now we can finally be together openly. Why won't you agree? Robert Liu pushed her away with a look of disgust. It's all your fault. If you hadn't insisted on getting married legally with me abroad, Sarah wouldn't have gotten married to someone else. Stay away from me. Seeing this, my dad couldn't hold back any longer and roared, driving the Liu family out. Get out, all of you. Get out. By now, David Hua and I were on a plane leaving, watching the city below shrink. I silently said in my heart, Robert Liu, we will never see each other again. As soon as we got off the plane, David Hua took me to a local hospital. A few days later, looking at my leg, which felt normal again, I couldn't help but cried. It turned out that the disability that had been with me for 10 years could be cured in just a few days. Robert Liu, you lied to me so deeply. Try walking a few steps. David Hua's words interrupted my thoughts, supported by him. I took one step after another, not feeling tired at all, even when drenched in sweat. Back in the hospital room, I looked at David Hua peeling an apple for me. And the question that had been on my mind for a long time finally came out. David Hua, do you like me? David Hua paused for just a second and peeling the apple. I instantly held my breath nervously. Then I heard him reply lightly. Not like, but love. I've always loved you. After this layer was broken, David Hua stopped pretending. He had wedding rings and wedding dresses sent to the hospital for me to choose from. Looking at the things piled up in the hospital room, I couldn't help but lie on the bed and complain. Davy, who tries on wedding things in a hospital, can't we wait until I'm discharged? He placed a ring on my hand, comparing them carefully. No, I've been preparing for this wedding for 10 years. I can't wait a moment longer now. On the day I was discharged, I put on a wedding dress and got into a car, heading straight for the wedding venue. But halfway there, the car was suddenly hit. A pair of hands pulled me dizzy. Out of the car, I looked closely and saw it was Robert Liu. How could he be here? Though his appearance shocked me, my body quickly made a decision, struggling to break free and leave. But he wasn't angry. Instead, his eyes were full of surprise. Sarah Chen, your leg is healed, saying that he took a few steps forward. Wanting to hug me, I quickly stepped back a few steps, increasing the distance between us. Seeing this, he stopped his advance, and his face turned ugly. Only then did I have time to look at him. In just half a month, he was unshaven, looking gaunt and unrecognizable. He was nothing like the highly praised Mr. Liu of the Liu Group he used to be. But none of that had anything to do with me anymore. I turned to leave, but he grabbed my wrist tightly. "Sarah, don't go. Come back here with me, okay?" His words made me laugh out of anger. "Robert Liu, how low do you think I am to be willing to be with you after everything that has happened?" I looked at him coldly, and after a long moment said mockingly, "Robert Liu, I don't do mistresses. You're calling yourself a mistress, aren't I?" After his initial shock, Robert Liu's face was full of hurt, as if those words were directed at him.
"Not me."
But the truth was, the day he got married legally with Jessica Chen, he had already pushed me to the moral low ground. "It's not like that. I sincerely wanted you to be my wife. I got drunk the day I got married legally with Jessica, and besides, a certificate from abroad has no effect here, right?" He was still trying to argue for the first time. I doubted if the man I had loved for 10 years was truly him. Your insignificant act was a thorn deeply embedded in my heart. I looked at him and spoke calmly. "That's what you think. From the day I learned you got married legally with Jessica Chen, I stopped loving you. Today is David Hua and my wedding. You're welcome to attend if you want to watch. If not, you can go back yourself." "No, I won't go back alone to find you." I endured pressure from the Chenlu families, refused to have a wedding with Jessica, and suffered so much scorn. "How can you just say you don't love me anymore?" As he finished speaking, Robert Liu's eyes gradually turned red. He grabbed my wrist harder, desperately trying to force me into his car. "Let's go. Come back here with me, get divorced, and we'll get married legally again." In despair, the sound of a car engine came from behind. "Stop." David Hua arrived with his men. He ordered the bodyguards to hold Robert Liu down firmly on the ground. Still not satisfied, he kicked him. "Sadi, are you okay?" Looking at his concerned eyes, I suppressed the fear inside and shook my head. David Hua's tense expression relaxed. He stepped forward and put one foot squarely on Robert Liu's face. "Who gave you the nerve to try and steal my wife?" "Men break one of his legs. You always mock Sai for being disabled. I'll let you experience it too." I was about to stop David Hua, but Robert Liu, fearless of death, taunted Sarah Chen. "Do you see this man you found is so ruthless? Are you really going to spend your life with him?" David Hua's brow furrowed at his attempt to provoke me. I signaled him with my eyes to hold back. I stepped in front of Robert Liu myself, looking at his hopeful eyes. "Ruthless? Who is more ruthless than you?" David Hua only said he would break one of your legs. But you actually destroyed mine. You didn't think I only saw those photos on your computer, did you? I began to recount all the content of the audio file in front of Robert Liu. With each sentence I spoke, his face turned paler until he finally lost the strength to struggle. But I wasn't finished with him yet. I continued. "My leg didn't have to be disabled back then. You replaced my medication and single-handedly ruined my life. Robert Liu, who do you say is more ruthless?" Hearing this, despair began to spread through Robert Liu. But he still didn't want to give up. He crawled powerlessly to my feet, looking up and apologizing to me repeatedly. "I'm sorry, Sarah. What do I have to do for you to forgive me?" This time, I looked down at him. Only then did I realize that the man I had loved for 10 years was nothing special after all. "I will never forgive you." With that, I got into David Hua's car and drove away. How could he compare to David Hua and my wedding? After the wedding, I never saw Robert Liu again. I only heard about him at a community event for expats. Robert Liu had his legs amputated. After returning here, he still refused to be with Jessica Chen in her anger. Jessica Chen drove a car and crashed into him on his way to work. Jessica Chen died on the spot, and he lost both his legs. Hearing this, I only sighed.
Karma.